Is Uganda trying to be East Africa's policeman? Uganda is deploying troops across borders, signing bold military pact and expanding its defense budget. Uganda isn't just watching East Africa's wars, it's stepping into them. With fresh boots on the ground in South Sudan and a lead role in Somalia's newest security mission, Kampala isn't hiding its ambitions. I'm Yonas, and this is Analytica Today. As chaos spread from Juba to Mogadishu, Uganda is responding, not with statements, but with soldiers. Its armies is moving fast, acting decisively, and rewriting the region's security architecture. The question is Uganda stepping up as a stabilizer or stepping over lines in pursuit of power? Today, we examine Uganda's expanding military footprints, its current deployment, regional diplomacy, and the deeper strategy behind its push to become East Africa's security hub. In early 2025, fighting reignited in South Sudan between factions of the SPLA. Capital, Juba, is tense, rebel movements are growing, and peace talks are stalling. Uganda didn't wait. By March 2025, reports confirmed the Ugandan People Defense Force had quietly deployed forces near South Sudan. By March 2025, reports confirmed the Ugandan People Defense Force had quietly deployed forces near South Sudan's border, allegedly at the request of Juba's government. While official confirmation was limited, satellite images and eyewitness accounts suggest active Ugandan presence in western Equatoria and Unity State. This is not Uganda's first involvement in South Sudan. In 2013, it directly intervened to keep President Salva Kiir in power. Today, history may be repeating itself under the guise of preventing regional destabilization. But critics ask, is Uganda securing South Sudan or securing a loyal neighbor? Uganda is also leading the charge in AUSSOM, the African Union new stabilizing mission in Somalia, which replaced ATMIS in 2024. The transition in AUSSOM marked a shift from offensive operation to long-term stabilization, but Uganda's role hasn't diminished, it has grown. Kampala commands the largest troop presence and now plays a strategic role in Somali force training, infrastructure protection, and counterterrorism planning. The UPDF is not just a contributor, it's a backbone. With Al-Shabaab regrouping in central regions and the Somali National Army still fragmented, Uganda's presence is increasingly central to keeping Mogadishu afloat. It's a strategic holding. President Yoweri Museveni has built a regional role for Uganda through military prowess, not economic power. And power, for nearly 40 years, Museveni sees security as currency. His government sends troops, trains allies, and signs defense pacts that make Uganda indispensable. Military modernization is ongoing. Uganda recently unveiled a new fleet of Turkish Bayraktar drones, upgraded armor personnel carriers, and expanded cyber warfare capacity. Meanwhile, training missions in Russia, China, and Turkey are shaping a next-generation officer class. The UPDF is no longer a domestic force, it's a regional tool of influence. And with Museveni's son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, openly posting about power transitions and regional politics, the military may be grooming not just soldiers, but successors. Uganda's regional activism has created both friends and unease. South Sudan and Somalia rely on its muscle. The US and EU still see Uganda as a security partner, even amidst democratic backsliding. Turkey and China court Kampala with defense exports, but others watch warily. Kenya, East Africa's economic engine, views Uganda's military-first approach as destabilizing. Nairobi invests in trade, Kampala in troops. Nairobi invests in trade, Kampala in troops. Their visions for regional leadership clash subtly, but consistently. Rwanda remains distrustful. The border dispute and intelligence feud remain unresolved, despite Muhoozi's social media diplomacy. And Ethiopia, long the African Union's diplomatic center, increasingly sees Museveni's shadow behind regional shifts in Sudan, Somalia, and South Sudan. Kampala's growing reach risks provoking as tensions as it prevents. Kampala's growing reach risks provoking as much tension. Kampala's growing reach risks provoking as much tension as it prevents. Being the region's enforcer isn't cheap. The UPDF isn't stretched thin. With new deployments in South Sudan, ongoing operations in Somalia, and the ADF insurgency in western Uganda, the military is fighting on multiple fronts. Domestically, criticism is rising. The military dominates governance, controls disaster response. The military dominates governance, controls disaster response, and heavily surveys political oppositions. For many Ugandans, the question isn't who protects us, but who protects us from them. Economically, Uganda faces rising youth unemployment and a heavy public debt burden. Maintaining an expensive army costs real money, and if oil revenues underperform, funding might not keep pace with ambitions. Most pressingly, Museveni is aging, and questions about succession, especially around Muhoozi, risk dividing military rather than uniting it. So is Uganda trying to become East Africa's policeman, but not out of altruism? Through strategic deployment and military diplomacy, Uganda is positioning itself as the power that others must call when borders fall, when peace falters, when chaos looms. For some, this is stability. For others, it's interference. In a region defined by volatility, Uganda's rising isn't about defense, it's about dominance. And the question now isn't whether Uganda wants to lead, it's how long the region will let it. I'm Yonas, and this is Analytica Today. If this report sparked new insights, leave a comment, and stay tuned as we decode Africa's shifting centers of power.